Okay, it's live there. Let's see if I can. There we go. And here. Oh. Just making sure the lens isn't dirty. All right, folks, those online that have already joined, we will be starting in a couple minutes. Let's do a quick sound check here. Everybody here okay? Everybody hearing okay? Back? Yeah, good. Okay. All right. I guess you guys are here, but also there are people that are streaming it live on Facebook and on the Angel Face page, and also onto the recently created YouTube channel for Angel. So it'll be there and be recorded if you want to watch it later. You'll remember if you come up, if we have open mic, you come up, you need to stand this close to the microphone to be heard. If you stand back like this, yeah, I'm gonna hear you. Okay, you gotta stand like this. And if you need to, put your foot on the foot peg, then move it up or down to get it close to where it needs to be.
She's coming.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to the November 18th board meeting. This is the first one for the season. Again, this is an owners only meeting, so if you have any runners, please excuse yourself. All right, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. Don Tucker. I'm here, yay. Paul Wilcox. Treasurer. Sherry Boggs. Secretary.
Here.
I believe Mr. Pat Hancock is visiting us live via the YouTube channel. Do we know if he's in?
He said he was be watching it on his computer and be available by phone if we needed.
Okay, he's available by phone if we need it. Unfortunately, Dan, the member at large, recently resigned. So we wanted to fill his spot going into the new season. We didn't have time because it was after the voting announcement was sent out. So we had a few people that we had in mind, but we decided to go with who we had already registered that would run for the board. And Joyce Weaver has decided to step up and fill Dan's spot for the rest of his term. And she will be filling in as the member at large right now. So we'd like to welcome Joyce to the board. If she wants to come up and sit, that would be awesome. All right, we'll move on to the proof of notice, which is posted at 9 a.m. on Thursday, November 4th, 2021.
I make a move, we accept it.
I second that motion.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, we're gonna move on to the approval of meeting minutes for March 26th. We have three. The first one actually was dated March 25th. It was the budget meeting from 2021. Motion to approve the budget meeting for March 25th, 2021.
Approved. Or do you want me to read it?
I'll make a motion.
I make a motion to approve it.
I second the motion. All in favor, say aye. Second one is from the Board of Directors meeting from March 26th, 2021. Please make a motion to approve the Board of Directors meeting from March 26th.
We approve this minutes for March 26th.
Approve the minutes.
And the last one is from the special recall meeting, also on March 26th, 2021. Can we please have
I make a motion, we accept the minutes from the recall meeting.
I make a motion that we accept the recall from the meeting. I second it.
all in favor? Okay, we'll move on to the treasurer's report.
Okay, as of October 31st, 2021, our reconciled balance in our operating checking account was $397,137.12. We had $500 cash on hand, which brings a total of $397,637.12. In our accounts receivable operating fund, we had $63,730.71, which brings us a grand total of $461,367.83. In reserves, money market, and CDs, we have a total of $788,089.09. In the social committee account, which also includes bingo, pickleball, cash on hand, and the park enhancement group, is $33,819.48. Now, on our October financial statement, October income was $15,027.20 under our expenses. So what we brought in was under our expenses. This is due to the bathhouse renovations and lawnmower motor. These expenses, although budgeted for the year, which is drawn out over the whole year, that budget is, they came out all in 1 month. So that's the only reason that it looks like this month is upside down, because for the year, for this year, fiscal year, we are $75,595.70 under budget. We need to give a hand to our administrative staff for staying on top of all these things and getting things like they're supposed to be. So we're doing very good this year.
Need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Motion accepted.
Second motion, all in favor? All right, the motion's been made, can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, we're gonna move on to the new business. First, we'll start with the board member election. As you know, we do an election every year. This year, we have 3 seats available. So, we're asking people that would like to be on the board. I kinda gonna go off script here a little bit. I wrote something that I kinda feel, these are my views. These are not the views of the park. So if you bear with me, I'd like to read it. Please keep in mind that this park runs 365 days a year. We don't lock the gates in the late spring and unlock them in the fall. We need board members. That's why there needs to be board members who live here full time to oversee the physical operation of the park. Yes, we have a park manager, and ours does a great job. Still, there needs to be board oversight on most of the money spent. Checks need to be signed, receipts need to be approved, etc. I can't and won't tell you who to vote for. That is the individual responsibility to vote for whom you think will do the best job for our park, and that those board members are watching out for the owner's best interest. I know some feel the current board is doing a good job, and some feel they are not. So to everyone, I say, run for a board seat. The excuse of, I already served on the board is invalid. If you haven't served in the last 2 years, you can serve again. And if you don't believe me, you can check the Florida Statute 718. Please remember, most of us are retired. Being a board member takes time and effort. I, for one, would rather be fishing, golfing, or cruising the country in my RV. I put cold beer on there, but I was having respect for my wife, I didn't say. It is a volunteer position, and each on the board deserves some respect for stepping up to serve. You don't have to agree with every decision we have made, and we will be more than happy to listen to ideas, improvements, etc. However, we will not be yelled at. Don't be a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution. Don't just bring problems. Bring possible solutions to the problem, and we will listen. So again, we welcome everybody to run for a seat. And we look forward to more people running for a seat so that there is a good selection of new people or old people that have already served on the board, that bring experience to the board. So I urge you to think about it, and maybe we'll see your name on the ballot. Thank you.
Just remember, those applications need to be turned in by December 4th.
Second thing is rule changes. We're looking at some of the rules that were posted from 2016, and there's some confusion there's some needs to be reworded. Not all of them, but a few. Now, I know some people feel that we need to have a vote of the membership in attendance and approval from the board. However, consulting with the association's legal team, these rules are not new. There's 6 points that I'd like to read about these rules. One is that it's a clarification in light of the current laws or code. 2 is removal of or clarifying impractical or unused provisions. 3 is tuning up an architectural standard to make the standard easier or more practical in light of current available products. Tuning up the policy regarding use of the clubhouse, which is owned by the association. 5 is cleaning up conflicting language, and 6 is other policy statements. We don't take these changes lightly, and we're not trying to make new rules. These are not Don's rules. These are our rules. These are the rules that were given to us from prior board members. So we're just trying to tweak them a little bit, to make them more practical or more up to date. So we have posted all of these rules on the website. If you don't have access to the website, or you choose not to be on the website, then you can go to the office and they'd be more than happy to give you a copy of these rules. So I urge you to look at these rules, read them. If you have input, we'll be more than happy to listen, and then we're going to vote on them at the next board meeting. We're going to move on to the suggestion box. Please remember that this is not a complaint box. This is for suggestions. If you have a complaint, again, we want to hear it, but there's a proper way to do it. And the proper way is to write it down, put your name on it, your block and lot number, and sign it, and bring it to the office. And we will address it in a pretty quick manner. Anyway, on to the suggestions.
Okay. We have 3 suggestions that were put in the box that they would like a meet and greet the candidate question and answer night. Yeah, there was 3 of those. And again, there was no names or anything on them, so I don't know who put them in. There was a request by Pat Taylor that the board at the meeting put in a written document posted acknowledging that Cheryl Farrell was found innocent of allegations made while serving as president of the board. And it goes on about the work that she did in keeping the park fiscally responsive in good standing. Another one from Pat Taylor is that when the front gates are broken and you know who did it, make sure that you let the office know. Again, the same old stuff with what LW's been talking about week after week, the dumpster issue back there and how we throw away our trash. We had a suggestion from Margaret Osborne to put in a second, soap dispenser. LW's already on that. We had a suggestion that early on late spring when everybody was gone, that the smokers make sure that they're further away from the building, so we took care of that. Diana Souza puts babies should be allowed in the pool as long as they're in swim diapers. I don't know if that's a Florida thing or we'd have to talk to Chris about that and get back with anybody on that. It's not something.
The health department says no.
LW just answered that.
Okay.
Also, Diana Souza, all dogs should have a show of current vaccine, rabies shots, and breed owners and guests before coming in, and breed owners of guests before coming in, also renters. Someone would like to remove the wall between the two exercise rooms, provided it's not a load-bearing wall. I brought that up to LW when I first got it out, and he said that is something that they might be looking into when they work on the clubhouse. Okay, board members should live here year-round. No one signed that. This is one of the things that I showed Don. The writing is very hard to read, but it's basically a complaint. So if you have a complaint, you take it to the office and write it up, and LW will look into it, put it in all of our boxes. As an owner, I would appreciate the rules about dogs being enforced. It is rude and disrespectful to allow dogs to do their business on other people's lawns. We shouldn't have to watch where we walk, perhaps a warning, then a fine. You read that name, Carol? Carol Hounahan? I'm not sure.
Yeah, Cunningham.
Cunningham?
Cunningham.
I'd like to also comment about no cigarette butts on the ground. I would think that's a no-brainer. We would like to see the walls painted a nice fresh beige color inside pool area with some fun signs put up. Love to see the patio put at the pool area looking at pond with tables and chairs, and a nice grill could be rented for larger family groups. Do some fresh paint inside the clubhouse. Christopher Murphy. Mary Jane Bender. My suggestion for season 2021 is to have a picnic area built where the horseshoe pits were taken out by the clubhouse. Lay a concrete pad for at least 4 round picnic tables that have a hole in the middle for shaded umbrellas. Thought that concrete would not soak up heat as a dark surface would. This would give people a place to eat instead of taking food into a pool area, and that location's already devoid of grass since the pits were dug up. Okay. I don't know if you call this a suggestion or. We should not be paying 70% of healthcare. This needs to be reduced. I can't read the name, it's Dennis somebody. Been brought to my attention, person renting in Ancient Oaks cannot rent a storage lot. If there are unrented lots in the storage area, I feel they should be made available to renters for a set fee for the time they're renting in Ancient Oaks.
Do we have a lot of
Storage units that aren't rented?
No.
There's not much, plus that would require a rule change, that is in the rules.
Well, I didn't think we usually had very many storage areas that were available.
Plus, you would run into the problem if you did that and someone came in here and bought and then was unable to get a space because the renter was using one. Could create a big problem. Workers should not be allowed at meetings. They can set up and then leave. Like we said, this isn't really a complaint. If you really have a complaint that you think need to be brought to the park manager's attention and then onto the board, you need to put it in the office, and they will put this stuff in every one of the board members' boxes so that they can all review. And it goes on to mention about the employees' pay raises. They think they're getting too much. Geez. Yeah, I don't think I read this one when I got it out. Maybe it's one you put in my box, LW, I don't know. There should be an identified fully stocked first aid kit easily available in the clubhouse, as well as the park should purchase an AED and run class. People pay for class to certify the use. I think an AED is that for having a heart attack or something. We got a nurse amongst us. Okay. Fixed Wi-Fi, more accountability for animals in the park. Same thing again. Taller commodes, we fixed that. Thank you, LW. We need a tiki bar and lounge between the pool and the lake behind clubhouse. Even for time being, if it's BYOB drinks, we're over 21. And that's all. And I checked it this morning, so this is the most recent.
If anybody has any suggestions on how to do some of this, if you think it's worthwhile, let us know. Some of them would actually take 66 2/3 votes. Since I've been here, ain't nothing passed with 66 2/3 votes. So, good luck.
Second that, none has passed since I've been here either. Okay.
All right, then the last new business is the cardboard recycling situation. I know it's funny, you think it would be easy, but for some reason, some people find it not that easy. Oops, I apologize, I skipped the survey results. We'll go back to the survey results and then we'll talk about the cardboard. This is a survey that was sent out and Paul is gonna address that.
We just sent out a survey. Actually, I asked them to put it in there from the park enhancement group mostly. We kind of wanted to know what people are wanting in here before we start trying to raise money for something that nobody wants. So we listed a few things that have been brought up at our meetings. And by the way, I am no longer involved with that. I just got it started and then passed it on. And they do need volunteers. So, I don't know, everybody should have gotten a survey. We had 130, returned. Right around that number, that may not be exact, but there were at least 130 surveys returned either by mail or just dropping them off at the office. Our first question was, would you like to see a covered pavilion built for picnics and sitting at out there looking at the lake? I got 124 votes on that. 70 said yes, 54 said no. So really the yeses had that. The second question was about the gym. Would you like to see an updated gym, maybe enlarged gym if we can get the wall taken down? We had 68 for yes and 56 for no. Updated clubhouse with new tables and chairs, more comfortable chairs. We actually had 59 yes and 64 no. So, yeah, we're right in there. Now, the one that really surprised us, and it surprised me anyway, it was the food trucks. It was 4-1 on food trucks. Wanting the food trucks. So that's why on November 29th, from 11 to 2, there will be a food truck in the clubhouse parking lot for you to sample it, see if you like it. You can come in the clubhouse and eat as long as you clean up after yourself. We will check it afterwards just to make sure it is clean and enjoy. Hopefully everybody enjoys it. Now, this is not going to interfere with the social committee's hamburgers and hot dogs. I for one am looking forward to that beginning again in January. So this is just something else. There won't be any outsiders allowed to come in and buy. The only outsiders will be the people inside that truck. So
And what is it?
it's a Mexican truck this time. We're working on two others, seeing which ones we can bring in. It's Taqueria, New Mexico. They specialize in quesadillas and tacos. And you can get them with just kind of any meat you want. Plus they have some plates, but you can get it to go, take it home, or you can get it to come in here and eat it. It's however you want to do it. But hopefully we'll have a lot of response to that and they want to come back, so.
All right, now we talk about the recycling. All right, I know LW looked into this, and then I looked into it. I just wanted it to be clear in my mind what cannot be recycled. So, what can? Cardboard, please flatten and free of trash. Plastic bottles and containers, please rinse. Metal soup cans, which I didn't know, please rinse. The following items are not allowed. Food containers, which are takeout, etc. No styrofoam and no plastic bags, no case soda wrap, no wrap from anything else. Believe it or not, if you take your plastic bag and you take your soda case wrap and you stuff them inside of each other, Publix will actually take those. They have a can outside, you can stuff it in their recycling can and they take care of it. So if you're really that happy to recycle, you have that option. But it does not go into the container here, because believe it or not, that makes that whole container of recyclables dirty, what they deem it as dirty. And when they deem it as dirty, we get an extra charge. So, I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend my money on an extra charge for somebody else's laziness or unwilling to cooperate. Paper type milk containers are trash and are not recyclable. Again, no plastic bags. Do not put plastic bottles in a plastic bag because, again, that makes it dirty. Only paper is allowed in the paper dumpster, no shredded paper, please, and aluminum cans can be placed in the box on the far side of the compactor. And we greatly appreciate your total cooperation, and I think together we can make the world and Ancient Oaks a better place. That, I believe, is going to be posted, or is already posted on the website. So we're working on signs, LW is looking into getting signs from the company that we can post out there. So let's just please all, because if we continue to get extra charges, we already pay enough a year for this service. So if it just keeps bumping it up, bumping it up, and bumping it up, then we're really gonna have to consider just taking it away, which a lot of people don't want to do, myself included.
LW, isn't it $80 every time we have a contamination in there? Did you hear me?
Yes, it's $80.
Sorry?
Isn't it $80?
Yeah, every time they find something in that cardboard recyclable bin that doesn't belong in there, they charge us $80. So that's on top of what we already paid them for those bins. Because we're having to pay for those bins to be back there. So they're not free and they're not paying us for getting recyclables. We're paying them to haul them off. So if we put stuff in there that doesn't belong, then they charge us another $80 for every time we do it.
All right, that's the new business.
For the day, the new business is done, we'll move on to the manager's report.
Okay, we're on? All right, very good. Before I start in my manager's report, I'll address one suggestion about no employees at the meeting. I don't understand that, and I'll explain, what we're getting at. We have, right now, 4 employees here. Chris is running the sound, and he's also a owner, so that he's allowed to be here. 2 reasons. Kathy is here as a receptionist because many times after a board meeting, people ask what happened at the board meeting. So she is here so that she has knowledge of what happened at the board meeting. Tammy is taking the notes of the board meeting that we have for the minutes, the secretary, she works with the secretary. And as a manager, I am supposed to be here to facilitate the meeting, so I don't understand why they don't want employees they don't want here. So, okay, enough of that. First off, I'd like to welcome back all those that have returned from up north, quite a few people, and, welcome. I've not heard of anyone having trouble on their journey this year, so we all have to be thankful for that. Over the time we've been gone, we have accomplished many improvements over the summer and fall, some big and some that might be barely noticeable. I don't know if anybody knows all the new signs. Probably something you didn't even notice, but the signs were all getting faded and old, and we replaced almost all the signs. The new backup generator for the water and sewer plant is here and waiting to be hooked up. Once again, everybody knows of the supply line problems, and we've gone into that quite a bit on that. The clubhouse bathrooms is renovated. Encourage you to take a look and see how well it looks. And all the faded traffic signs have been replaced. Still working on replacing all the block signs. I had ordered some that look really nice with the plywood, and some are some delaminate, so looking into some different material for the block signs to make the place look a lot better. We are asking everyone to help with the trash situation. Remember to put all trash in the compactor, and any cardboard that you don't put into the recycle bin needs to go into the compactor. No cardboard in the open dumpster or bag trash. Any item that takes up a lot of iron, leave on the ground next to the open dumpster if it needs to go in there, so that the guys can crush it with the tractor before going in. We need to save room in the open dumpster so we can, and once again, stuff isn't spilling out on the ground. No cardboard on the ground in front of the recycle bin. Once again, I hate to keep harping on this, but anybody have an idea how much it costs us for our trash to be removed? And that area down there besides the manpower, just pure cost to waste management? Anybody want to venture a guess? We pay $3,500 a month for trash removal. That's $42,000 on the year. That's the reason I'm trying to really get everybody educated. I'm sure everybody in here does a good job, but there's still people that haven't heard. That's why the guy in my calls have put out there, maybe somebody right now said they had not heard. They were putting trash in the open dumpster. So I hate to harp on it, but it's a lot of money going out that we need to keep track of. And not increase our costs by having to have a second dumpster, because when the guy comes to empty it, if it's too much in the open dumpster, before they've thrown it out into the next dumpster, so we end up with trash still here, trash on the floor, on the ground that has to be taken care of. So that's enough on that. And in our last fiscal year, we ended up very well, and it looks like this year we will also be below budget. My thanks to Tammy for helping me to keep tabs on that and keep track of all our expenses and know where I'm at, as far as expenditures and what we can spend money on, and be tight with our money, frugal, but also this is a nice park, we want to keep it that way. And that's why, when we maintain something, we don't want to do it halfway, we want to do a good job so it lasts a lot longer. With uncertainty in that economic situation, without a controlled government spending, inflation could affect us negatively this year. I heard it was on track for 9% this year. My main concern is that the clubhouse is in need of some expensive modifications. If you look at those windows on that side and this side, they are old, inefficient, and then where the the siding meets the ground. Sure, yes. The water has gotten at the cedar and is damaging it. And so for at least the lower portion of the clubhouse, we really should start replacing with waterproof material. And we want to make it look nice, reduce the size of the windows, and have more efficient ones, and have them be impact resistant. This clubhouse, if we were to replace it, I hate to think of how much would be costing. I know it'd be probably about $1 million, because not, with the new regulations, we have to have fire sprinklers in it and all that kind of stuff. And so we need to keep this in the best shape as possible, make it last as long as possible. Okay. We are working with residents, that's all of you, to keep all the units looking good, not only when you're here, but when you're gone. So, not just during season. We also have several full-time residents that seem to need extra motivation to bring their units up to recognize norms, make them look good, not the weeds out of control. I think everybody got a letter, or some individuals have gotten certain letters, and I take a picture, and I'm using the new TOPS program, I can tag it to the property, and I've sent them a letter saying we need to do something about either the weeds or get in place pressure wash so it looks nice and keep the park looking good. We don't want to drop down to fish camp status. I started the Friday Q&A with the manager, live streamed on Facebook. How many of you have jumped on that? Quite a few. Okay. That's to keep you informed. I've gotten entirely positive reviews on that. I don't think there's anybody that told me I need to get my ugly mug up there. So, the dynamite call system, I think it's working great. Gets the notifications out and lets people know what's going on. If you haven't put your name in to be on the dynamite calls, there's a form, and fill it out so that you are informed when we have water breaks, meetings, things going on. I'm not anywhere near using the capacity of what we pay for it, but I can do one a day, and there's many days I don't use it, so we got lots of credits. Over the summer and so far this fall, we managed to keep relatively free from COVID-19 in the park. We have had a few cases, a couple of required hospitalization, but thankfully no more deaths. So continue working on that, follow the guidelines, everybody be safe. And sincerely hope everyone has a great season here, stay safe and healthy. And we'll keep going.
Move on to the committee reports. The hearing committee. Does the hearing committee have anything to report?
Yes, we had a meeting March 15th. Now that I'm temporarily on the board, I was the chair of the hearing committee, and Andrew Porter is my vice chair. He's stepping up to be the chair, and he will come up and do the minutes from our last meeting.
Okay. LW, one thing I'd like to add, it just hit me when you got up here. I had a meeting with Florida Power and Light on my construction. You can get a copy of the whole electrical layout of this park. They have that available, she said. Okay. Now, for this committee report, she said March 15th, 2021, those present was Sherry Boggs, chair, Andrew Troy, your vice chair, Janet Balker, secretary, Paula Wilcock, board liaison, Norma Eberts, an alternate, Bart Christensen, an alternate, Diane DeYoung, an alternate, Virginia Chase, an alternate, and the owner, Dorothy McDermott, and renter, Melinda McDermott. The meeting was called to order at 9:07 a.m. by Sherry Boggs, chairperson. It was noted that the necessary meeting notices were duly posted. Minutes of the February 10, 21 meeting was read and approved. Melinda McDormand Renner states to the hearing committee that she will be recording this meeting. The purpose of this meeting was to address a violation per letter dated February 19, 21 to Dorothy McDormand, owner of the property unit number 6445 on 51st Street. Ancient Oaks violation is concerning dogs barking excessively at the above unit. Dorothy McDermott, owner, and Linda McDermott, renter, were present to give statements to the hearing committee related to the $25 fine levied by the board of directors for excessive barking at dogs at unit 6445 51st Street, block 25, lot 4. Statements presented to the hearing committee by both parties. Melinda states that the problem had been corrected. L.W. Smith, park manager, stepped into the meeting to state the barking dog problem was corrected after 2 or 3 visits, not immediately. There was further discussion by the owner and renter unrelated to the violation issue. Both parties were reminded that the purpose of the meeting did not involve these matters, such as dog feces from same property, smelling coming from same property. Sherry Boggs asked both parties if there was any further information that they wanted to share with the committee prior to leaving the meeting so the vote could be conducted. They declined and left the meeting. Sherry Boggs stated she would recuse herself for voting, asking Diane DeYoung, alternate, to vote in her place. The vote was taken with 3 voting hearing members casting their votes. A unanimous vote was 3 yeses to impose the $25 fine. Was recorded at the time. Park manager L.W. Smith will notify Dorothy McDermott and Melinda McDermott of the hearing committee's decision. The next meeting of this committee will be determined at a later date with proper notice given. Meeting adjourned at 9:50 a.m. Respectfully submitted, Janet Volker, Secretary. Could I have a motion for this?
I make the motion, we accept the minutes as written.
I second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the social committee, if anyone here is representing the social committee. Okay. All right, the only old business we have again is a reminder for the owners to make sure that their renters have a copy of the rules and regulations, and that the owners need to make sure a copy of the rules and regulations are available for any potential buyer.
I make a motion that we adjourn this.
Meeting of the board, I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting of the board of directors.
I second the motion. I second the motion.
Third motion.
First
All in
motion,
favor?
second.
All in favor?
Okay. Okay, now we will give everyone an opportunity to come up to the mic and to address any concerns they may have. We request that you keep your comments to your 3-minute period, please. Okay, I guess that's, no one wants to say anything, so thank you for coming to the November 18th board meeting, and hope you have a wonderful afternoon and a very happy Thanksgiving.